Welcome, GCSC Technology Integration YouTubers. This video covers the Microsoft Whiteboarding app. The Whiteboarding app is a versatile tool that allows you to create and annotate. Once you have finished your creation, you can export to OneNote and share with students from there. This tool can replace things like the smartboard and the Ziggy. Let's learn a little bit more about it.
The Microsoft Whiteboarding app is an app that should be pre-installed on all new GCSC teacher laptops. I launched mine by pressing the Start button and locating the live tile that I had created for Microsoft Whiteboard. If you don't have a live tile created, you can search Microsoft Whiteboard in the search area or scroll to the M's and locate Microsoft Whiteboard. If for some reason it is not installed, you can always locate the app in the Microsoft Store and download from there. Once Microsoft Whiteboard loads, it will look something like this. In the upper right hand corner, you will notice there are 3 lines. If you left click on those lines, you have the option to explore a number of settings that will be important for you. The first option is the active pen. If that is toggled on, you will be able to use your stylus. The next option is ink to shape. If that is turned on and you draw a shape on your whiteboard, but it is not quite perfect, the computer will auto-correct that shape to what it should be. Just like all autocorrect programs, sometimes this works well, sometimes it's a little off. You can see the triangle and the square were fixed, the circle was not. However, if you are going to draw a lot of shapes, I would encourage you to turn that option on. To continue exploring the settings, I will click the 3 lines again. The next option is ink to table. If that is turned on, anything that you draw will be interpreted as a table. So I can draw a data table if I want students to interpret data. And once I've created the basic column and row, I can click to add more rows or click to add more columns as needed. And that allows me then to input information in those cells as needed. To continue on with the settings, I'm going to click the 3 lines again. Doing so shows that the next option is object snapping. If that is turned on, when you move an object in your whiteboard, it gives you the ability to align the object with other items that have been created in the whiteboard. To continue explore the settings, I'm going to click the 3 lines again. And once I do that, you can see that the next option is export. If I click export, I can export my whiteboard as an image, either a PNG or an SVG. Clicking the back arrow, I can see that I can also send to OneNote. If I click send to OneNote, I will be provided with a list of all the notebooks that I use, and I can choose the notebook where I would like to send this image. This is very useful for those teachers who are using OneNote and would like to take the annotations they've done in class and send them into a notebook and possibly share that with students. Also a great way to replace some of the smartboard tools that have been used in the past. Clicking the back arrow to go back to settings, I can format the background of my whiteboard. If I do that, I can change the color. I can also change the type of grid that is shown on the background. So if I prefer something like graph paper or a square grid with yellow paper, I can do that, and I can then use that as my background as opposed to a standard white background. The toolbar location allows me to change the location of the toolbar from the bottom, which is the default, to the right or the left side. So if I select the left side, the toolbar is going to move to the left side. I prefer mine on the bottom, so I'm going to leave it there. Clicking the back arrow to go back to settings. The next option is to clear the canvas, which clears everything on the canvas, obviously. The accessibility checker tells me if there are any issues for students that might have a visual impairment. And all of these items do not have alternative text, so a student would not be able to tell what they are. So you can add alternative text there. Clicking the back arrow twice gets me back to settings, and at this point I have concluded exploring all the options that are available in the settings menu on the Whiteboard app. You can see that I've used the clear canvas tool in settings to start with a blank page. At this point we are going to explore the toolbar. Mine is on the bottom of the page. You can see there are a number of options in terms of pen color. There's also a highlighter, an eraser, a ruler, a lasso select. The plus button gives you the ability to insert items into your whiteboard. There's an undo and a redo button. The pens are fairly self-explanatory. If you click any pen, you'll have the ability to change the color. You can also change the size. Of course, anything that you then write with that pen will appear in that color. The same is true of ink to shape. Choosing the eraser will of course allow you to erase things that you have drawn with that pen, but please be aware if you have ink to shape on, that item is now an object and it must be left clicked on in order to be deleted. You could also cut or copy it, and you can also change the size by clicking this bubble, but I'm going to delete that. Clicking the ruler brings a ruler to the screen and allows me to draw a line at a very precise angle, assuming I choose the pen and not the eraser. And then, assuming again that you have a touch screen, you can use 2 fingers to rotate so that if I want to draw the angle at 15 degrees, I can do that very easily with the ruler tool. Once I no longer want the ruler, I can just tap the ruler and it will disappear back into the toolbar. Clicking the plus button allows you to bring various items into the whiteboard. Paste allows you to paste something that you copied elsewhere on your computer, maybe a picture from the web. Image allows you to bring an image in that you already have stored on your computer. It will open the File Explorer, and you must select the picture that you would like to bring in. So if I want to bring in this avatar, I could do that. If I left click on that picture, I can move the picture around. I can click on the bubble and drag to make it bigger. I can lock it to the background. I can also do an ink grab, which will turn it into a pen sketch as opposed to a picture. I can delete the picture, or I can copy the picture. So if I click the ink grab, it's going to take just a moment, but it will change that into an ink sketch as opposed to the picture that it was. Clicking the plus button on the toolbar again, I can insert text, and I can type anything that I want into a text box, and I can move that text box around. Once I have finished, if I left click on that, again, I can resize by grabbing the bubble. I can also copy, delete, change the color of the text, or edit the text by clicking either one of these two options. And of course, the text can be moved around as well. Clicking the plus button again, I have the ability to add a post-it note, and I can type anything that I want on the post-it note, and it will appear wherever I place it on the whiteboard. And again, this can be moved around, and it can also be edited in terms of text or color, and you can also delete or copy that post-it note. Clicking the plus button again gives me the ability to bring in an image from Bing. If I click that, I have the ability to search. Because I'm using my stylus, I'm going to write to search, and let's say that I were studying England in class and I need a map of England. I'm going to search for a map of England. And once my handwriting is recognized, I can select map of England, and I have a number of options to choose from. I'm going to add this image into the whiteboard. And once I've done that, again, I can click on that image and I can lock it in place. I can delete it. I can resize it. All the options that have been present with the other pictures as well. So I can move that. And then if I wanted to, I could use my pen to annotate some point or place that we are talking about in class. Clicking the plus button again gives me the ability to bring something in from my camera. I also can bring in a sticker of various types from a pre-selected menu. So if I wanted a sticker of the planet Earth, I could put that sticker in and then again click on that and move it wherever I want, resize, delete as needed. The last item on the toolbar that we will discuss is the lasso select. If you select that, you can highlight or circle an area and it will grab everything inside of that. And from there, you can do what you want to that selection. So it allows you to select more than one item if you would like. That's a quick tour of Microsoft Whiteboard. Don't forget, some of the key features are that you can export this as a picture, you can send it to OneNote, and you also have the ability to save. There's this back arrow at the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and it will take you back and you can see all of your whiteboards. So you can create multiple whiteboards throughout a day or throughout a grading period and use those again and again as needed. Hopefully you find a use for this great app. Again, it can be a replacement for a smartboard, a replacement for Ziggy, and a number of tools that we have used in the past. If you have any questions, please let me know.